Well, I think you want to know.
Yeah, I said it.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Can you give me?
No.
Yes.
No.
No, you want to say?
What are you trying to say? This is getting awkward right now.
I can't tell.
Let me shut up.
Okay, I think he's out. But guys, what the hell is that? That's one of the all-time weirdest interviews of my career.
So that was Daniel Dubois on Ariel Hawani's show. Dubois, man, dude. I mean, this is just an observation. Daniel Dubois is autistic. I don't think there's anything that's like. I don't think that should be controversial. There's no way he's just putting on this shtick. He is one of the most accidentally funny guys, definitely accidentally funniest fighters I can remember. He is hilarious. Anyway, hopefully he brings that humor into the ring because I'm siding with Fabio come fight night. But anyway, how's everyone doing? Hopefully everybody's well. This is Thursday morning, May 7th at 9:15 a.m. We got a lot to talk about. We have Australia that happened last night. Hopefully you're up. We have the UFC going on this weekend. We have a Pro Box card, a Zuffa card. We have the big card in Manchester between Dubois and Wardley. If you guys aren't in our Discord, we are at 501 JSBs. It's a milestone. We started this thing in August. It is the beginning of May, and we've hit 500. That was my goal for the first year. So we're ahead of schedule. It's a couple bucks a month. You get access to our world famous Johnny Says Boxing betting Discord. It's a betting community. It's not just boxing in there. Click the link that's pinned. You can either join here on YouTube to become a JSB insider or on Patreon, whichever one you join, you get access. We're going to get into it. I'm going to keep that link pinned here. And we're going to talk about real quick what happened last night. All the A-sides won, atypical, no limit card. The JSB Insider tickets, they're all live except one. The only one that didn't hit was Callum Peters by knockout. I played that at plus 180. Gave it a good go. Callum Peters is who I thought he was. He is. They are who we thought they were. They are who they are. He is who we thought he was. So he beat the dog piss out of Joe Sean James. So I had Callum Peters on 3 parlays, which I never really do, but I was just, if you watch my breakdown analysis, you would have known. I know some of you guys thought Joe Sean was live. I thought he was as well. I just thought Callum is the real deal, even with only 12 pro rounds. And he proved that. He beat the brakes off of Joe Sean. So the prop bet was the one I missed, but our long parlay is live. We hit on our double. We hit on Tszyu at $1.81 by knockout, and Callum on the money line at $1.43. So plus 143 hit. Our quad is live, so everything's looking great. I gave you guys another ticket, so check your Patreon, check the members section. You guys got my UFC quad, and I'm putting together a nice little method of victory parlay. I'm flirting with taking Atif Oberton, Philly in the house, the Illadel stand-up. Atif is my guy, trained by Paulie Spatafora's coach. He's a Philly guy, trains out of Pittsburgh. We've covered Atif Oberton on the show before. I'm just contemplating, should I go stoppage or points? So that's something I gotta decide. There's a UFC Chimaev. What am I gonna do there? Is it gonna be a submission? Is it gonna be a knockout? So is he gonna stop Strickland? That's on my radar. And after a long debate, I rewatched. I spent the last 2 hours watching Salim, watching Angelo Leo's last few fights. His last fight didn't impress me. We covered that fight, but up until then, he's been looking really good. So I initially thought that Salim was live. I don't think so. I like Leo on the money line, and I like Leo on points. So what I'm doing behind the scenes is putting together another ticket for you, okay? Wherever you are in the world, all I ask is like this video. Let's talk about it. You're gonna have me for at least an hour. So last night, Guys, this is up on the channel. This is my breakdown, prediction, and analysis of Wardley and Dubois. We'll get into it. Mason and Cordana, Cleveland, Ohio, baby. Let's go. That link is up. That's the Australian card. That ticket didn't hit. My girl cooked dinner last night. You gotta love Italian women. You gotta mucho bellissima, ciao bella. Let's go. How about this fight? That was CJ versus that G-Bagger. It was a 5-rounder. Anthony Mundine's son, 23 years old, third pro fight. Bit of controversy. We had him on a long parlay. He got the job done. I scored a 3-2. It was a shame that the Newcastle crowd had to boo him. But when your last name's Mundine in Australia, you're going to get booed, which is unfortunate for CJ. He's a good kid. And the dad, Tony Mundine's an absolute legend as well. The grandpa. So Chalk is a legend too. So Kira Russin did what we thought he was going to do. How dare some of you guys in the disc? I was reading comments all week talking about Kira was on upset alert. Crazy. Yeah, Joe Sean looked like he after the fight. Joe Sean looked like he was in a fight. Eyes were swollen. He got dropped once. Fought valiantly. We knew he was going to be tough. The knockout didn't come through. I want to play this. I'm going to play this, what I said here. Nikita looked great tonight, guys. He added elements to his game, his head movement, his in and out, his setups, everything. Nikita looked like the better Tszyu. He was slick. He was typical Nikita with his aggression. He got the stoppage, but he was... Guys, Nikita Tszyu looked great. I got to be honest with you. I've watched Nikita since he turned over a couple years ago. This was only his, I think, 12th pro fight. Mate, there's certain things that sons will be gifted from their fathers. Genetics are a real thing. The thing that Tim has that he got from Costa, power, the belief in his skill set, the mindset, all that good stuff. But there's things that Nikita has that Tim doesn't. Nikita has gotten his dad's instincts. Like that version of Nikita Tszyu, dude, Oscar Diaz was tough as nails. Oscar Diaz was way better than I thought he was going to be. Too tough for his own good. You know, some of those shots early before the stoppage would have knocked a lot of guys out. The body punching, Nikita Tszyu looked great. His well-roundedness, his punch versatility, his patience more than anything. I've never seen Nikita look so patient. But his instincts, like Nikita Tszyu's head, like his head movement, he constantly, off of the center line, working angles. He's added a lot to his game, and it's good to see. And this is the first time that I would say this as a serious question. It'd be a good question to ask the boys: is Nikita Tszyu the better Tszyu? You know, granted, Tim's been a world champion. The only way you could ever say yes, Nikita has to become a world champion in order for that conversation to even mean anything. But in terms of skills, in watching how he's evolved into this 28-year-old version of himself, and it's not, we've watched him on these pay-per-view events since he turned over, so that's not easy as well. But what that is he has that big fight experience already. When you're thinking about a domestic Australian fighter who has been prepped and seasoned to bring to the world stage now, there is a lot to like about Nikita Tszyu and the attitude he fights with, how he fights. This guy fights with a fan-friendly style. This guy on a Wednesday night in Newcastle, Australia, sold out the arena there on a Wednesday night. So those who say boxing's dead or boxing's in trouble, you guys are absolutely insane. Especially those who talk trash about Aussie boxing. Aussie boxing, the only way to really understand Australian boxing is to understand the culture. And if you're coming from, and I understand how a lot of Americans will judge Aussie boxing based on a fighter and how that fighter does on the world stage. That's not how you judge nation-to-nation boxing. The way you judge a country's, like English boxing, Aussie boxing, Japanese boxing, American boxing, it's a cultural thing. I don't know many places in the U.S. that you can fill out an arena on a Wednesday night. That's all I'm saying. The boxing is ingrained in Aussie culture. It was great to see. I'm excited about Nikita Tszyu. I kind of always have been, but it wasn't that long ago when he was fighting Jeff Horn's brother, Ben Horn, where I was just thinking maybe Nikita's just like a sideshow. Maybe Nikita's a novelty. Is he taking it too serious? He's not taking it serious enough? It wasn't too long ago in 2021 where I was working out a Bondi Boxing Club, and they're doing Tim Tszyu's fight week there, and all the media's there, and Nikita's running around playing tag with the NRL guys, and it's like maybe Nikita's just like the little brother. And then he fights Dylan Biggs. He gets dropped against Dylan Biggs and then wins that fight. We watch Dylan Biggs, what he's turned into. And just time and time again, every time we see Nikita in there, he's adding levels to his game. But other than the head movement and the defense, the pressure's always been there. We know about the aggression. We know about the power. What I was most impressed with was the instincts, the intuitiveness it's like I don't see Tim have. Nikita has. Like understanding the predictability, the setting up of shots, working the body. There's a lot to talk about. I was impressed with Nikita Tszyu. So this was given to the insiders. Yeah, this is our Aussie prop plus 153. Callum Peters on the money line $1.40, and we parlayed that $1.81. And people are always going to say hindsight's 2020, but Nikita Tszyu at $1.81 by knockout. Now that we're looking back on it, geez, that's great value, isn't it? And then these are our tickets that are live. If you're playing along, all the JSB insiders got these before they hit the streets. The one on the left at plus 110 is our sort of safety net parlay. And the one on the right is our long parlay. All systems going into it. So we got a lot of action ahead. I think we're caught up. Nikita got his little international belt. That's a stare down. Dubois and Wardley, Manchester. And that's my big head. And here we go. Let me pull up the odds. I'll say what's up to the boys. And we are on it. Let's go. All right, we're about 15 minutes in. We got 50 of the savages in here. Let's like this video for your boy. That's all I ask for you. Johnny Says Boxing, the JSB Insiders, the collab that the boxing community have been waiting for years, and we up. Let's go. Community on the rise. We got new fights to talk about. I'm going to say what's up to the boys now. Mike from Melbourne, what's up, Johnny? Rafferty and Essuman out 3. Essuman out, not to money line. 475 decision. Fight confirmed at welterweight. First fight. Yeah, Rafferty's coming up. Essuman's been up there before. It's a good fight. Yayo in the house. Rush. Let's go, Fabio. It's good, dude. It's a stressful fight. Right now, I have Fabio Wardley on one ticket. You watched my breakdown. I gave you the path to victory. I got Fabio on one ticket paired. I did a UK double right now. I got Fabio and Bradley. It pays good money. So I don't have that's a full unit. I'm going to be salty if I lose. I might play it knockout props. I was waiting for them to drop. This is going to be a good one. Let's talk boxing. Let's go, Boxing Fan, my guy, OG ground member. Boxing Fan was our first JSB insider. He was one of one. Nikita better than Tim. Yeah, man. And it's one of these things that like I talked about, your understanding as well is time will tell, only time will tell. But watching this kid, there's something about the energy of a fighter. There's something to be said also of when a guy gets knocked out. The energy that Nikita Tszyu fights with, and that was in that you felt from the arena last night, was the energy Tim once had. I was at the Tim Tszyu Tony Harrison fight. I was fourth row to that. That place was absolutely insane. The energy was freaking insane. I've been to a lot of fights. I was cage side to Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm in 2015, UFC 293 in Melbourne, Australia. That energy was insane. But Tim Tszyu versus Tony Harrison was electric. Absolutely wild. And then you get knocked out, you lose. It's tough to get that back. Nikita has that. And Nikita's a different style of fighter. Boy, Nikita also has this ability to rehydrate, because I shared it on my Instagram story. I talked about this yesterday on my live. Nikita's weight cut was brutal. He never looks good on the scales. He always looks drained. But yesterday, the day before, I thought he looked extra awful on the scales. Face all gaunt. But then come fight night, he kind of reestablishes himself. He looked massive in there. There are a lot of fun fights at 54. I want to see Nikita versus Bilal Fawaz. I think that's a fun fight. Nikita versus Bilal Fawaz would be a fun fight. I want to see where he's at with that. I would take Nikita Tszyu in that fight, and I'm a Bilal Fawaz guy. That's a fun fight. These are just sort of like ideas. I want to see Eric Salub. Let's see. This probably will never happen because I know Eric has talked about moving up to 160. But I mean, money talks. You're telling me you can't get a bag together, you can't get flights together, and bring Erickson Lubin down to Sydney and see if Nikita's the real deal? I'd love to see that. Lubin versus Nikita. That'd be a massive fight. They would sell out. There's so many matchups I'd want to see him fight. I think it's a little bit too early. I think he needs a little bit more seasoning to get anybody else in that top 10, top 15. But guys who are between 15 and 30, if you look at the BoxRec rankings, let's check it out. This was a good conversation we had going in the Discord last night, and that's why I want to kind of continue it real quick. I mean, he's already ranked in the top 15 in BoxRec's algorithm at 154. And, this is what the top of the list looks like. No, he better stay away from Ennis. He's going to stay away from Virgil. Keep him away from Seb, Xander. I mean, Madrimov. That would be crazy. I mean, if Nikita's serious about elevating, could you imagine if he jumps the line? I know Tim has Arrow coming up. Keep him away from Murtaza, but Lubin at 9, dude. I think right now with Lubin's style, the tread he has on him, that'd be an interesting fight. We know Brandon Adams has a fight coming up. Chino, I think Chino's style right now, the seasoning, 40 pro fights. I think Chino Garcia's style would be a little bit too much right now for Nikita, but you never know. Dude, Gio Santillan's still in the mix. Is he still active? Yanis Tejas, that's a fight I think would be interesting. Nikita versus Yanis Tejas. So there's some interesting fights to talk about. And what? Not too much once you go too far. Rashidi Ellis. There's some good fights to make. Yeah, we got 60 in here now. I got to catch up to the boys. Tipkin. Dude, Tipkin, your blog's dope, man. I didn't realize that was you on Instagram. Follow Tipkin on Instagram. He's a Brit living in Russia. He does all these sort of like videos that are pretty in. You were eating a green burrito. I was like, what the hell is this? Or a green kebab. Leo has improved. Yeah. So I'm 90% on Angelo Leo. Congrats on hitting 500 test. Dude, it's a teamwork, baby. It's a teamwork. Teamwork. We're up. King of Fitness, my guy, Angelo. Yeah. Okay, and this is Angelo Leo on points right now is paying, I think, $1.80. Atiba, who fights in the UFC by knockout, is only paying $1.20. But if you're getting sexy with it, is that worth? You're getting plus money, and Atiba's going to stop him. Leo paying $1.81 on points is, that's already great value. So when I make it official, I'll let you guys know. One of our snipers, shout out to the gentleman who consistently provides with those Aussie and Japan fight streams. Yeah, Kyle Hayden. Shout out to Kyle Hayden. He's our secret VIP sniper as well in our Discord. Guys, if you're not in the Discord, mate, what you're missing out is, and this is how our team is growing. It's obvious. We've gone are the days where the Discord's about me. You know what I'm saying? Gone are the days. I'm just the figurehead. The best benefit, and I can attest to this, and I used to be one of these guys who was spending thousands of dollars a year on every event, and I kind of feel shameful a bit. A bit of me feels a bit shameful because I used to speak highly of myself, like self-righteous, that I pay for every boxing event. I pay for every UFC event. But dude, that shit's expensive. You know, now we have the Discord. We stream. Dude, Kyle Hayden, you've saved us thousands of dollars in 2026. It's one of the biggest values of our squad is having a guy like him streaming the fights, dude. And it's not like we're last night on a Wednesday night in Australia, we had like 90 people in there watching the card. And the Japanese card, I did a little free game. I got toasted on it. I went quarter unit. I threw like Fujita, I think got stopped, and then another fight. I picked Peters and Joe Shaw not to go the distance, and it did. So the parlay was cooked. But we had the Japanese card streaming in there and the Aussie card. And Barry Unboxing, you're right on track with that. Yeah, you guys asked me in the Discord yesterday who are my favorite Australian prospects. Kira Rustin is in my top 5 Australian prospects. Callum Peters, top 5. And then there's a few of them, man. I like Ahmad Rita. Don't sleep on Ahmad Rita. Ahmad Rita only has a handful of pro fights. He looked really good against Bruno Sumera. And then there's a few of them, but Kira fought last night and Callum. And it's good to see our community. You know, some of us live in Australia, a lot live in America, a lot live in Europe. Introducing everyone to new fighters. It's the best thing about what we do. Daniel's jab would be too much for Fabio. Boxer size. Okay. Johnny, curious to hear your thoughts. Guys, I'm not betting on Khalil Majid and Gavin Gwynn. I'm not betting on that fight. I've been burned. As a team, I've been burned in the past. This is like a low C level domestic Brit fight with tempting odds. I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up for you, Mike. I'm not betting Khalil Majid and Gavin Gwynn. This is a low C level, not under the sea. This is a ABC level domestic British fight. Neither guy could punch. Neither guy is going to be a champion. Neither guy has a perfect record. Neither guy has power. Gavin Gwynn's the older guy. You would recognize Gavin Gwynn because of his fights with Cameron Vong. I featured Gwynn on the channel before. He has cardio. He has pace. Khalil Majid, I'm not here to bash fighters. I'm not betting that fight. So I don't have action on that fight. We're up. You guys come to me for my honest opinion on fights, and I take this very, very seriously. I don't like losing. You guys don't like losing. And so from my perspective, where I could always get better at is strategy. Where I am getting better at is not betting on fights that I don't need to bet on. You know, we're already up. We started the week off well with Australia. Even before last night, I wasn't betting this fight. And we don't need to chase. There are some awesome odds on some really, at least higher level fights. If you want to bet that, that's on you. You would notice you don't see it on any of my parlays. And girls, guys and girls. Toya, you OG. Toya's the queen in here. We need to get Toya a special icon. You like Waldo or Volkov? I don't have action on it. I mean, Volkov, he's going to want to avoid the big right hand. We know Salsa Boy Waldo Cortez was a baseball player. He was a pitcher in the Cincinnati Reds organization. We know the Dominican Republic is known for baseball players. Shout out to the DR. At one time in my life, I would holiday there every year with my childhood best friend. So I know the DR very well. And Cortez has that right hand. He throws his right hand like a goddamn fastball. Volkov is up in age. He's a beast, though. He's big. He's a giant. He's going to use that length. He's going to use that jab. It's a fight. I don't have action on it. I'll pull it all up, though, and we'll do a rundown. I'll do a rapid fire UFC parlay after we hit like the 45-minute mark. Guys, 25 minutes in. There's 65 to 75 in here. Give your boy a like. J-Mag, what's up? Salute to you, brother. The experience from fighting real contenders is going to be the difference. Riff Raff got a padded record. These odds disrespectful. Yes. Okay, I'm going to pull that fight up. I think, yeah, Jack Rafferty has a padded record. Look, that shouldn't be controversial to say. Jack Rafferty does have a padded record. I think if you guys are, I haven't given you a dog yet. I haven't given you, you guys have my UFC dog. You guys should know who that is. I'm 90% sure I'm probably going to take Echo Essuman as my dog. And the odds are getting better. Plus 230 is insane. Jack Rafferty, 26-0, 17 knockouts. Things look good. I think he has a draw with Chamberlain. But I mean, nothing too much there. Echo Essuman, went in there to Scotland, beat Josh Taylor. Was fighting Jack tough. Was fighting Jack tough until he wasn't. Yeah, Zarafa, that's exactly what happened. Zarafa was like, hell nah. Hell to the nah. How we feeling about Atif? I gotta make sure I'm not jumping on Atif because like an emotional pick. I'm a fan of Atif. I know his coach. I'm from that part of the world. We featured him on the channel last fight. He got that kind of awkward knockout. You know what I'm saying? And he's a character. He's very marketable. Let's take a look at the odds. He's fighting Gongora, dude. Gongora's been in there. Did he fight less? Who did Gongora fight that we covered? Might have been Lester Martinez. Back in the day. So these are the odds. This is another one when I talk about I still have a couple parlays I'm cooking up for you boys. This is one of the fights that are on there. I'm still torn. I mean, Overton, I don't want to get trigger happy in terms of picking knockouts all the time. It's hard not to. Gongora's up there in age too. Let me see something. Lord Pretty Calvo. What a great nickname, dude. This dude, man, his walkouts, he's great on the mic. He's a good Instagram follow. He's one of these young fellas who are just now getting his opportunity to be marketed, by promotions. And he's fun in there. He only has 53 pro rounds. This is my hesitation, and this is where I jumped the gun yesterday, and this is where I need to get better, and I'm going to get better, is Callum Peters only had 12 pro rounds. Joe James was the seasoned pro. So there's a pattern there, guys. There's a pattern. Usually there's a pattern there. Now, you have your outliers. You have your Moses Ituama. You have your Teramona, guys with like 10 to 15 pro rounds who are just knocking everybody out. But those are heavyweights. Usually, I think the trends would tell us the patterns. You have the younger fighter with less pro rounds going up against a veteran with a lot of experience. This could be the pattern, not necessarily where the veteran wins, but the veteran should be tough enough to go the distance. We saw that with Joe Sean at 27. He was the veteran last night. It's always easier to look back in hindsight. I can't, and it did go the distance. And looking back, it's like, yeah, dude, Callum had 6 pro fights, 12 pro rounds. Joe Sean James been in there with Lester Martinez. Yeah, he's been stomped before, and he was dropped in his last fight, but don't you think he knows how to navigate a 10-round fight? So I'm kind of salty that I did, but this might be the case with Atif as well. Because Atif, 53 pro rounds, 6'3" southpaw, 15-0, 13 knockouts. Gongora's never been stopped. 25 pro fights. Gongora's tough, man. If you've ever watched him fight, you would know that. Massive experience advantage. Are they keeping his age from us? I thought Gongora, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I thought Gongora was an old head. Once I find out his age, I'm going to tell you what I thought he was. Yeah, I was going to say 37. He's 37 years old. So, I mean, he's a tough guy, dude. He could punch. Carlos could, at 37, what does he have left? Southpaw versus Southpaw matchup? We haven't seen him. Yeah, we I featured the Lester Martinez versus Gongora fight. It went all 10. You know, Lester won, you know, pretty much every moment of that fight. The Christian and Billy fight was closer. I think I like points here, actually. I think I like points here. I don't know if Atif. Yeah, guys, I don't know if Atif has it like that. Like Lester couldn't stop him and Billy couldn't stop him. I don't think Atif is ready to stop Gongora. The question would be, is Gongora ready to go? We talked about this before when I had Tommy Rano, and Tommy's my boy. You guys know that. Is like Tommy retired with a record of, I think he was 26-8, but he had never been stopped. And in one of our live streams, we were talking about how fighters, that is a thing. Like Tommy doesn't have to pay for beers wherever he goes in New York. People know that Tommy Rano in New Jersey, New York, you know, never became a world champion, but the boxing community knows that's a tough dude, never been stopped. What are you drinking? That's a thing. You know what I'm saying? Gongora, 37 years old, never been stopped. Lester couldn't do it, and Billy couldn't do it. I don't think Atif Overton throws enough punches to do it, and I don't think he has one punch knockout power. He is 15-0 with 13 knockouts, but a lot of those are kind of like on the way up. Like he's in the phase now of leveling up to being matched with like better competition. You know, they're now giving him aged out veterans. Let's see how he does with this guy who's tough and durable, South American. So I like Overton on points. Let's see what that pays. Yeah, I love points plus 140. And so you take Overton on points at plus 140. What was the other one? I might lock this in now. You guys got me freaking hype. Overton on points at plus 140. And then, see, I might just play that. That's already plus money. I don't need to get greedy. So if I make that, I'm definitely going to play Overton on points. I might double that with, I would be so, I mean, you could go half unit. I don't want to break my own rules. I usually will take my dog of the week. I'm going to take Echo Essuman as my dog of the week on a separate ticket. But the greedy person in me, like the degenerate in me, would want to go Overton on points and Echo on the money line, and that's plus 692. I'm not saying I'm going to do that, but I'm tempted because I like Echo a lot to win that fight. I just think he's, you know, he's a better boxer than Rafferty. And I don't think Rafferty's power is legit as that the 17 knockout suggests it is. I think he has a lot of holes in his game. He gets away with a lot of things. I think Essuman's pace, pressure, volume will turn that fight. It should be close early. I mean, the fight was turning against Jack. We brought up the scorecards yesterday. I mean, from rounds 4 onwards up until the stoppage, maybe 5 or 6, Echo was figuring things out. So, yeah, there's money on the table, boys. Let's not get greedy. Why is PBC sending Spence to Australia? Why not Dallas? Who's the? Well, Tim's definitely the A side, and EJ hasn't fought in 3 years. You said you like Lubin. Now you want to feed. I do like Lubin. What do you mean? I want to see how Erickson's. Dude, Erickson at 30 years old. I always feature Erickson on this channel. I'm a fan of Lubin. I'm a fan of the sport, guys. I want to see if Nikita's legit. I guarantee there's 75 people in here, 80 people in here. I'm sure some people could put their hand up and be like, dude, Erickson Lubin will beat the brakes off of Nikita. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see. I think that would be a good fight to make. I want to see if Nikita's real. I'm not saying bring Lubin to Australia to feed him to Nikita. I'm like, bring Eric to Australia and let's see if Nikita is who he thinks he is. That's my perspective. He'd lose to Madrimov. It's good to talk about. I'm surprised Katsaragis isn't a bigger favorite. I got Kats on the money line on a parlay. I haven't typed the I've typed it. I think, dude, people have been sleeping on Kats for like 5 years. I think he's one of these guys nobody says his name because it's a hard name to pronounce. Atif moneyline, Morel moneyline, Fabio moneyline, Boacek moneyline. Let's go. High interest. Thank you for the super chat, big dog. I am worried about Fabio. I am. I'm not sitting here like, yeah, dude, Fabio's going to starch Dubois. No. I have Fabio right now on one ticket. I have him and Bradley Ray. It pays plus 300 on the money line, full unit. I'm not confident in it. I'm more confident in a Bradley Ray beating old mate, name slipping my mind, the kid who fought Ben Whitaker twice, Liam Cameron, than I am Fabio. The reason is it's a heavyweight world title fight, mate. There's a lot on the line. Daniel could punch. The more I watch Daniel's film study, though, people were acting like he has this advanced artillery. I didn't say this adjective in my breakdown, and you guys don't have to agree with me. But when I'm watching Daniel walk in, using his jab but still walking in, wanting to land his backhand, he actually looks more basic. I mean, his jab's better than his jab's better than Wardley's. Obviously his pedigree's better than Wardley's due to the amateur experience. I give him the power advantage, his backhand, but other than that, there's a lot of basic to his game. There's a lot of simplicity to Dubois' game. And when you're looking at like who's the better athlete, Wardley is twitchier. Wardley is the one who believes. Look, I got Wardley winning. I'm not excited about it. I would go. Well, is this all on one ticket? Atif moneyline, Morel money. You're gonna go heavy on that, aren't you, you savage? Boacek will sauce it up. You're in plus money. Let's fucking rock and roll. Scared money don't make money. Okay, I thought of it. 90% on Leo, pretty high in a fight that close. Overton on points, Leo on points. And just go Echo Essuman by himself. I'm writing that down. Echo, dog. And then Leo and Overton on points as a double. What's that pay? That's what I wanted to do. Okay, so I'm going to take Echo off of this. So Overton on points plus 140. Angelo Leo on points to beat Aleem plus 180. Plus 332. I love this double. So plus 332. I think I'm gonna make that official. If I do, I'll put it. I'm gonna play that. I'm playing that. You'll see that up in the Discord. You'll see that up on Patreon. I like Overton and Leo on points. Plus 332. What do you think about Bobby Green? I'm not betting on that fight. I'll pull up the UFC in a second, in about 7 minutes. Guys, there's 75 in here. We should have 75 likes. Unless you guys are just part of the people who come on, and just see what we're talking about. You guys poke your head in and you don't want to be seen. It's all good. You guys got love from me. I got Gavin. Katsarakis has good backing. They allowed him to hit Adams low 20 times that ultra A side. Enthusiast, I'm leaving that fight alone too. Have you covered Liam Cameron? Look, I talked about Liam Cameron yesterday. Do you think Morel will get the knockout? I'm not getting props on it. I haven't really thought too much about David Morel. He should. He's a massive favorite. I'm not getting props on it. It just depends on... Look, at this stage of the game, the way he's been marketed, the way David Morel's been sold to us, this Cuban next coming world champion, etc. He had his moments against Benavidez. He should get the knockout, right? Am I betting that? I haven't seen the odds. World of Wrestling, you don't think Dubois... No. This must be for a later comment. You just heard what I said. Dubois could definitely win that fight. Yeah, I don't think it matters. I don't think Ngor is going to get stopped. Do I think Hamzat can take down Sean? Yeah, I do. I don't have a dog in that fight though. I don't. It's not like I don't cheer for fighters. Um, Part of me wants to see Sean knock Hamzat out, and another part of me wants to see Hamzat rip Sean's neck off. So I wish both of those could happen. I don't care about either guy. I'm not a fan of fighters. I'm a fan of the sport. He fought Mabili to a decision. That's right. The only thing about Essuman is he got absolutely obliterated his last fight. No, he didn't. What? Hold on. What do you mean, man? That fight was a 50-50 fight up until that stoppage. Look how this fight turned. You know, the scorecards. Jack wins rounds 1, 2, 3, drops Echo in 4, wins round 5 and 6. But then look, you don't remember this fight? Look at round 7 onwards. Echo turned it around midway through the fight. 7, 8, 9, 10. And 11th is where it got stopped. Echo was coming on, man. I wouldn't say he got obliterated. You know what I'm saying? I just rewatched that fight. It was a lot. It was getting really interesting. And look, I won money. I won money on Catterall. I took Catterall. So, but I was stressing. That fight was turning. Young Money, I almost hit an 18-legger last weekend at Benavides. My dad always used to say, Johnny, there's only two almosts, horseshoes and hand grenades. Such an old man saying. It makes sense, though. Almost doesn't count, only in horseshoes and hand grenades. Is Angelo Leo? I think he's a good bet. He's the A side. He's the champ. He has the shine at the moment. Reese Salim is 35 years old. Reese Salim is a real pro. This fight's at a neutral site. I know Reese is a Michigan guy. This fight is in, I think, the ATL. Hotlanta, holla, stand up, baby. Let's go. The strip clubs are going to be popping. You know about the ATL, the Dirty South. I was torn. The start of the week, I was on Aleem. I was kind of 50-50. The more I watched the fight, Leo didn't. I had to kind of revise why I liked Leo initially and what happened. He won his last fight. It's just I lost money because I picked him to win by knockout. So sometimes when, especially from my perspective, I have to make sure that I don't convolute future outcomes based on me losing a bet in a past fight. But Leo didn't look as bad as I thought he looked. I think his youthfulness, his energy, he has power too. Leo can punch. I think his power is going to be enough to dictate where this fight takes place, and I like him on points. No, I was 100%. I was 100% going to say 37, but I didn't want it to say 31, and then me get hated on. I'm not lying to you, bro. What a thing to lie about. What a weird thing to flex about, dude. You obviously don't know me if you think I was trying to flex on me guessing an age right. I didn't want it to say he was 31. I'd be like, bro, you fucking, what are you hating on him for? Ankangor on short notice. Satif was supposed to fight someone else. We'll look into it. We'll look into it. What was the go with Mundine decision last night? I had Mundine 4-1. He won on points. He fought G-Banger. 3-2 if you want to be nice. You think Spence beats Tim? I want Errol to win. Then again, you know, like I said, I want Errol to win. Do I think he's going to win? I don't know. I wanted Errol to win against Bud, but I picked Bud to beat him. I wanted Errol to beat Bud, but I bet on Bud to win, if that makes sense. I know it's hard to understand for some of you guys. But yeah, I was cheering for EJ against Crawford, but I had all my money on Bud. I want EJ to beat Tim. Do I think he's going to win? I don't know. Am I going to bet on him to win? I don't know. Are people really saying he got obliterated by Catterall? What are we talking about here? Because he got stopped? I love this sort. I love this this type of fight week. No, I'm not sure. I'm not Toya. I'm not sure about any of my picks, mate. Am I sure about my? No, I'm not sure about anything. Nothing. Have I researched and done my work and put all my energy into it? Yes. Ask me that. Be like, Johnny, did you, are you Johnny? Are you sure about the energy and time you invested in your picks? Yes. Am I sure? Am I sure that they're gonna win? No, I'm never sure that anything's gonna win. You think Wardley is a smart fighter, has the ability to make adjustments? ZD coming straight forward, heavy shots. He got one plan. Yeah, this is the thing. Daniel Dubois has one. I don't want to say gear. He has one outline. I think he's autistic. Like he doesn't deter from a plan A. It's like this way or the highway, and that's it. Not a lot of variance in his game. I'm gonna be watching that fight as a bettor and as a fan. And I I have never seen Fabio doubt himself. Even in that first tough fight where he hung on the ropes the entire time against Fraser, it wasn't like he was doubting himself. Even when Justice Sooney was beating the brakes off of him, it wasn't like he was doubting himself. We didn't see him in the corner looking lost, which we've seen happen with fighters before. I've seen that in Dubois' face before. I've seen Dubois look lost. I've seen Dubois quit. A lot of this has to it guys, it can never just be records. It can never just be who you like better. There always has to be an element of mindset. There has to be an element of the things that you can't measure. And the things that you can't measure on Dubois, I don't like. I don't like what's between the ears. Essuman been making 147 for 10 years. I've been leaning Rafferty. Get him then, big baby. Morel decision could be worth it. Chelly is young and never been stopped. Hey, bro, I've been so busy. Haven't been able to tap in much as we would be a set. Yeah, there's a safety net up. It's a four-legger. 2 out of the 4 have hit. It's the quad I posted, big dog. I should have named. I forgot. You guys were expecting the name. My bad. I made an error on that. He took serious punishment. At the end, the knockout got punched out the ring. People said that was an illegal punch. I have to relook it. I have to rewatch it. They were talking about how the ref missed a call or something. But yeah, I don't. Let me show you something. What do we like about him? You guys like his cornrows? What do we like about, like, he's 30? (26-0), 1 draw, 5'9". Drew against Mark Chamberlain. What else do you like? What has he done? The smaller guy. I mean, he's fought at 47 before. He's fought at 57 before. Yeah, so, I don't think the weight, I don't think where this fight's taking place is going to matter too much. Yeah, if you're riding him, ride him, man. I'm not trying to talk you out of your picks. I don't know shit. Look, I don't know anything, man. I'm not trying to talk you out of your picks. Stick with who you want to stick with. Jack Rafferty isn't on my radar of being one of those ones. He never was. No offense. I like what I've seen. I think Echo Essuman, fought his career into world level fights with that style. He knows how to operate in a ring. He's going to tell you he's going to made some adjustments against Catterall. I don't expect him to go into this fight diminished. I expect him to be the same old engine. And I like him here. I like him. I like him to beat him. I hear Bam anyway may happen. I hope it does. Yeah, dude. Right? We've been, Bam. We haven't seen. Has Bam gone? I mean, we need to see Bam at 18 more. You got like weight classes. Where is that fight going to be at 22? Probably. Bam has to go up to 18, then fight at 22. Inoue's tough. Bam's one of my favorite fighters. So is Inoue. It's a fun fight. I hope we could get Leo versus Carrington next in Vegas. I mean, I'm excited about Figueroa versus Rafa. That's you guys. No one's talking about that, dude. Brandon Figueroa versus Rafa Espinoza. Let's go, dude. 126 is up and alive, baby. Dude, people forget about 126, boy. And then imagine if Inoue was like da 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 da, pokes his head into 126. You know what I'm saying? Like I like that division. Shushu's my guy though. I think Leo will get it done against Aleem. Carrington has a fight schedule. That would be a great. That's what you do. We want to see unification fights. This is what you do. We want to see champions fight champions. Pero Crocker still going ahead. Didn't it's not up on BoxRec. They said Spence had no southpaws in prep for Crawford. Quentin Randall said he was sparring Errol knowing Crawford was going to beat him. Didi is definitely a coup. Am I tripping? I'm politicking with this chicken, wondering if I'm a creeper, a little hood rat bitch from 25th named Tamika coming through. Like I do, getting my bark on. Knew she was a thug because when I met her, she had a scarf on. Am I tripping? I don't know. Early thoughts on Chukachin versus Patty Donovan. I always get mixed up. This is my brain. When our brain gets caught on a loop, whether it's misspelling one word or misremembering a moment. My father used to think my mom's birthday was March 15th, but it was March 14th. That sort of thing. And this is going to sound weird. For some reason, I always get mixed up with Donovan and Crocker. In my head, Lewis, Crocker, Patty, two names that are both 4 syllables from the same part of the world. They look nothing alike. I shouldn't get them confused. This is a tough fight. Now, early in the month, I thought Chukachin was fighting Lewis Crocker, and I was taking Chukachin to beat Lewis Crocker, but he's actually fighting Patty Donovan. This is a tough fight. I can't. This would be a fun fight to break down. I like Chukachin. I like Donovan. I thought Donovan could have easily won both Crocker fights. He gets hit with the 2 big shots early on in the Crocker fight. Crocker fights the entire second fight on the ropes, lands the 2 counters, doesn't do much afterwards, and they give Crocker a decision. Donovan could easily be a world champion right now. And then the first fight had some controversy to it as well. I like Patty Donovan's game more than I like Crocker. I think if Liam Perro fights Crocker. Look, the thing about Liam, though, Liam struggled with David Popo's size. Liam Perro is kind of one of those in-betweeners, if you ask me, in terms of weight classes. He was a little bit too big. At 140, he said the weight cutting freaking sucks, guys. A lot of the most uncomfortable moment of a fighter's career is generally when they're cutting weight. I met him before. He's not the biggest dude, though. He fills out a little bit like he was doing the fights last night in Newcastle. You wouldn't think a kid who stands at 5'8.5", 5'9" would struggle that much to make 140, because from what I saw him looking like against David Popo, who was granted had fought at 160 before, fights Liam at 147. Liam struggled with Popo's size, struggled with his range, struggled with his distance, and a lot of the guys at 47, aren't going to be as big as Popo, but they're going to be bigger than Liam. So, the one question was, does Liam Perro beat Crocker if it's still going on? He should. Skill-wise, he should. But, you never know. Chukachin versus Patty, I'm slightly leaning Patty. I think Wardley. Guys, I'm going to pull up the UFC odds in a second. We're approaching an hour. There's still 50 of you guys in here. I appreciate it. We peaked at 80, which is great. It wasn't too long ago. My Thursday morning live streams had 12 people in here. So I appreciate all the support. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Join our Discord. The link is pinned in the comments. I'm a couple bets I'm going to be looking on. You guys have talked me in and talked me out. I'll see if I jump on Echo Essuman. And then you've talked me in and talked me out of Overton on points or knockout. I got to do more research. I was just getting the Gongora Overton fight last night. You guys said, I know that Gongora hasn't fought since Leicester 2 years ago, and I didn't know he took it on short notice. So there are things, and this is why the chat is always undefeated. This is why we win consistently, because it's a very educated chat. It's impossible for one person to be up to date on every single fight. I do my best, though. I try my best, but you guys give me the assists all the time. Is Fabio the technical guy? British stoppers? No. He's not a technical guy. Fabio is a guy who's all heart. Athletic, though. I never said I like Lafferty. I got to wonder what. Okay, this is true. The knockout in itself, Essuman, it's true. It wasn't that long ago. No, you got it. It's a good point. This is why we do what we do. It's a good point, Rob. It's a good point, Skills. Ahmad Hatem. I don't know who that is. Rafferty's album, Neon Icon, changed the game. Are you talking about Riff Raff, dog? This guy's crazy. Check to see if Rafa versus Fig is still on. I heard Fig was ducking. Okay, I'll check. I'll hit up Garcia. I think that matchup's good for Figueroa. I don't know if he would duck that. I don't mind that match. I mean, Figueroa's gonna have to dig deep. But, damn, Rafa's fun to watch. Rafa's older than Figgy, which is insane, I'm pretty sure. Rafa's 32 years old. Figgy's 29. See, this is something that, I know the True Blues, I always bring this up, before the first Robesi Ramirez fight. Not a lot of people knew who Rafa Espinoza was. I love the knockout. He starched Edward Vasquez. That knockout was spectacular. And then obviously how he came back against Robesi is a massive dog in the first fight. And then, he just dominated him in the second fight, pretty much retired Robesi. I think Robesi has a fight coming up. Maybe because I've been watching Figueroa for a decade. You know what I'm saying? I know what he's capable of. I wouldn't write off Figueroa. I wouldn't write him off against Rafa. Looking forward to the Nate Dogg story. I was at the park one day. That's when I saw her face. She looked kind of catty to me. Are you talking about nobody does it better? Yeah, Nate. People sleep on that. I used to play ball with Nate Dogg in Long Beach, California. LA Fitness back in 2005. I told that story before. I'm betting on Rob Lee, Van Ochoa. Do you guys know about Amasov's story? I'm sure Rob does. Amasov is, I think, the Bellator world champion. Make what you will of that, but that's not the story. He leaves as a champion to go fight in the Ukrainian war. Savage. What a stud. I just saw footage this morning of Amasov in the war, in his house that had been destroyed by bombs. I think it was real. We got to question everything these days. Was this real? Am I getting trouble? This motherfucking AI. But he's in his soldier gear. There's rubble everywhere. And he's in his house that had been destroyed, that he had to abandon. And he finds his Bellator world title belt. He's making his UFC debut this weekend. I mean, talk about a feel-good story. Jesus. What? Patty Donovan, Patty the Power, neither one of them good. Karen for the win. Chukachin, Fresh BX, holla, hot tags, we up. My three dogs, Costa, Van, Rebecca. World of Wrestling, I got Van on my he's my dog of the week for the UFC. I was looking at the Rebecca fight, bro. Let's pull up some UFC. We're an hour in. 70 you guys in here. Let's look at the UFC now. Because I did the JSB Insiders, you guys have my UFC quad, pays plus 230. And my dog of the week, I got him at plus 140. Josh Van. So I like Pat Sabatini against Gomez. I'm half tempted to take Kopolov as well at plus 166. I don't have action on Kopolov yet, but tall, long, rangy striker. Grappling is okay. We just saw Tulio get starched. Tulio is one of these guys, Brazilian fighter. I think he's either out of the shoot the box or Nova União in Brazil. He just got knocked out. He's going to stand and give Kopolov that fight that he wants. I'm tempted to take Kopolov, man. Not a perfect record, but he's tough. He's a smart and educated striker. It's a fun matchup, especially that low on the card. So I like Sabatini on the money line. I might do a long shot UFC parlay. I used to do these all the time. It could be fun. I like Kopolov here. Jared Gordon, just based on youthfulness. Shout out to Jim Miller. He's gonna have the emotional narrative on his side. His one of his kids recently overcame a really aggressive form of cancer. He's still fighting. Jim Miller's an OG of the game. A10 in the house. I just think Jared Gordon's, the age, man. This is a young man's sport. Gordon's by no means a young guy, but Miller. I mean, I remember watching Jim Miller fight Evan Dunham. I think in like 2007. Dawson versus. See, this is the thing, Rebecca. Rebecca is that he's a Polish fighter. He just takes a beating. He's known for taking a beating and damage, and he's always in your face. He's been in some wars. Grant Dawson, this is a guy who's slipped up multiple times. His strength is his grappling and his wrestling. But sometimes you could trick Grant Dawson into thinking that he's a striker. You know what I'm saying? And he could get touched up. We've seen him get touched up before on the feet. This happens with wrestlers and grapplers. We've seen it happen with the young kid multiple times out of the Pacific Northwest. His name's slipping my mind. I remember watching him as a 19-year-old fighting in the regional scene in Alaska. Chase Hooper. And so it's like your bread and butter is on the ground, bro. Why play the striking game? There's a way to play the striking game, but we've seen Hooper fail in it, and we've seen Grant Dawson fail in it. If Grant Dawson wants to play his game, he takes Rebecca down and he just grapple fucks him. That should be the play. But there's chinks in the armor now. You know what I'm saying? The psychology isn't invincible now. He has questions now. So I think Rebecca is live. I don't know if I'm going to play that. And this is Amasov, the kid I was talking about, the former Bellator champion, Ukrainian soldier, left as the champion. He's making his UFC debut. Dude, at one time, Joel Alvarez, the Spaniard, was a guy nobody wanted to fight. At one time, he had a record that was like 18-0 or 19-1, one of these crazy records. He was beating everybody. He had a lot of polish. He either fought himself into a main event or a co-main, and things didn't go his way. So he's dangerous. He's tall, rangy, lanky. He's a confident striker. You always got to question his durability, though. So this is an interesting. But then again, when you look at the statistics of champions coming over from other divisions, whether it's the PFL, Bellator, one championship, and they make their debut in the UFC, things don't always go their way. So maybe Alvarez is live here. It's something to look at. I don't have action on that yet. And this guy, Gaultier is going to be the biggest favorite on every card until they move him. Ozzy Diaz is just a tough Mexican-American guy who just, I can't believe they're giving him another fight. Like the dude Ozzy Diaz literally gets a contract because he can take a beating. And that's what and he's going to give, you know what? There's a place for it, I guess. Dana don't give a shit. There's a place for it. He's not going to run from Gaultier. Under 1 minute, is that a prop? Like, are we going like under Gaultier knockout round 1? Like, is that what we're doing here? That's probably the move. Because Ozzy's going to be there to get hit, boys. $1.27. I would do Gaultier knockout round 1. $1.74. That's probably the move. So that's how I see that fight. Bobby Green, Jeremy Stevens. Bro, Jeremy, Lil Heathen Stevens, dude. Who the fuck is that guy? This is him, man. I remember interviewing Jeremy Stevens back in 2013. He was training out of San Diego, California with Danny Hernandez. Shout out to the Gremlin. Um, was Danny Martinez. I was interviewing Danny Martinez, and in the car, he's driving to a golf course. They're living in San Diego, California. It was Danny driving, doing an interview on my podcast back in 2015. Dominic Cruz drinking alcohol in the back, and I remember I couldn't release the video. I had to release just the audio because I didn't want to show Cruz, and I think at the time Cruz was the champ, drinking and driving in a car. And then Jeremy Stevens was with the boys. So Lil Heathen's an OG in the game. Lil Heathen could crack, he could punch. Um, is King Green still a fighter? Is he an influencer? Is he a streamer? He got money now. I was on Bobby Green OG back in the day, regional. I'm talking Bobby Green 2013 days. So I'm an old school fan of Bobby Green. You know, you can watch his highlight tape. At one time, man, hands are down, weaving, real loose in there. He was one of my favorite strikers. But you know, both guys are old, long in the tooth. It could go either way. Green could get knocked out. Heathen could get knocked out. Will the fight go the distance? I would probably say no. Will the fight go the distance? I think someone gets stopped, but then again, both guys are going to stay on their feet. Maybe they think it's going to be like we'll cancel each other out. Who knows? I might put something together for the boys. What else we got? This is one I have action on. This is one I have action on. This is Sean Brady versus Joaquin Buckley. Look, guys, I got Brady here on the money line. I think it's great value. I think Brady's world class. I think he's a fight or two away from fighting for a world title. He very aggressive, offensive wrestling and grappling. We know Joaquin Buckley is a striker. Joaquin Buckley was on the Joe Rogan podcast and talked about how he learned his striking from my boy Shane Faison on his YouTube channel, Fight Tips. Like, what the hell? And he made it all the way to the UFC. The point is, he's done well with what he has. Great athlete. We know he could crack. He has power. Doesn't say no to any fights. He got exposed against 82-year-old Kamaru Usman. I think Brady's stronger than Usman, younger, more energy. Usman has no knees. We know about the surgeries. We know about Usman can't even walk down stairs. He has to walk down stairwells backwards. And then you see him training. He has to walk on grass. So, like, Usman dominated Buckley on the ground. I think Brady's going to do more of the same. I wouldn't even oblige Buckley on the feet. Maybe throw a jab, shoot for a deep double, and just hurt him on the ground and control the fight. So I like Brady there. I think it's going to be one-sided. Volkov and Salsa Boy. Damn, that's a weird fight. Volkov's 138 years old. Salsa Boy is a former baseball player who played for the Cincinnati Reds minor league organization. He's a Dominican fighter, the DR stand-up. I talked about this earlier on the stream. Wants to throw his right hand. Volkov is tall. He's a giant. They call him Drago for a reason. He's going to use his length. He's slow. He's prodding. He wants to just extend that jab out and just, land his backhand. I think Cortez is live here. We'll see. He's gonna have to go through the fire with Volkov, though. Volkov is a little bit tricky too. He could take you to the ground. So, does he oblige or Cortez on the feet? Does he slip a punch and then shoot for those hips? And can we see Volkov being the first to shoot, taking Acosta to the ground? Probably. Waldo's lost on his back. So there's a path to victory for both guys there. And then the main event. I jumped on this weeks ago. Oh no, the co-main. Josh Van versus Taira. I got Josh Van at plus 180. He's down to plus 140. One of my favorite boxers in MMA. You know what I'm saying? Like, young kid, Myanmar as well. Yangon, Myanmar stand up. I once did a documentary about the ancient martial art of Lethwei, and went to Myanmar to shoot it. So Myanmar holds a special place in my heart. I'm not sold on Tyara. I know his wrestling's good. I know about his reach advantage. I think Joshua Van's takedown defense is going to keep him on the feet. I think his hand speed is going to be there. And I think his boxing is going to be. I'm just banking on the plus money. Josh Van on the money line, having the championship belt around his waist, having his boxing neutralize Tara's wrestling, and we still here and still. And this is a fight that has a lot of people divided depending on which side of the row you're on. Like I told you earlier, half of me, 50-50, wants to see Chimaev rip Strickland's head off. The other half of me wants to see Strickland knock Chimaev out cold. I think Sean could do it. I mean, Gilbert Burns almost did it. Gilbert Burns had Chimaev in all sorts of trouble. And, that was at what, 170 pounds? Granted, Chimaev had to cut, he's a massive boy, had to cut a lot of weight to make that. And Gil Burns is world class. That fight happens 10 years earlier. Who knows how that would have went? But that was probably the most we've seen Gil or the most we've seen Chimaev tested. Sean Strickland's coming off a fight where I didn't pick him to beat Fluffy. I was shocked. I thought we had already turned the page on Strickland. I thought he had the good run, became a champion, overachieved, influencer now, that sort of thing. And then he goes in as a dog against Fluffy, who had looked freaking amazing up until that fight, and he dominated. I'm like, how the hell did I miss that? That was a bad read on my end, dude. Jesus. I thought Fluffy was the next in line. His cardio, his pace, his wrestling, his grappling. Nope. That basic ass low leg kick, that basic ass jab, just was too. It's a weird style to deal with. Fluffy couldn't do it. Will that style, that unique ass, weird, unorthodox style that Strickland has, will that be enough to beat Chimaev? We'll see. Guys, we're over an hour in here. There's 70 of you savages in here. Let me know what's up. And a lot of comments. You guys are beasts. Anybody knocked down MMA, but Amosov's grappling is the closest thing to Islam. Yeah. Volkov, Rebecca Van. Dog hunting Kiza. The dog hunter. Chuck Magnus debut. Michelle Rodriguez. Andreas. All right, boys, stay up.